students? Yes, you have read the title correctly, as it is the theme of our today's lecture with the poem. That is, Zero Humanity is Zero World, equivalent to Zero World. And this lecture is the theme of today's poem, that is Fire and Ice, penned by Robert Lee Frost. So students, get ready for the poem, and in this poem we are going to read about the author, we are going to read the poetry. Again, explanation of the poem is there in this lecture with literary devices used in this lecture, and today we are going to discuss some of the types and important questions related to this poem. So first we will start with the poet, and the poet, as you all know, in previous poem, that is the Dust of Snow, it was also written by Robert Lee Frost, and today we are reading his one of the another poems, that is Fire and Ice. Robert Lee Frost, he was an American poet and he was born in San Francisco. Students, he depicted realistic life through language and situation familiar to common man. Why? There is a reason behind this, because he in his life he faced many problems, and once he got settled in rural regions, he started writing his poems there, and so his writings, his poems are very much related to the situations which are very much familiar to common man. Again, he was winner of 4 Pulitzer Prizes for his work. Pulitzer Prizes, this prize is an award for achievement in newspapers, magazines, or journal writing literatures, musical compositions in United States. So he was recipient of at least 4 Pulitzer Prizes for his work, and he received more than 40 honorary degrees. Coming on to his life, he faced many challenges and difficulties in his personal life. He was fairly unsuccessful too in several of his endeavor. Despite challenges, he grew to depict rural life quite well, began setting his poems in countryside. All his poems are related to the situations in the maximum of the poems related to situation in a common man's life, and this countryside, living in countryside, living in a rural area, it inspired him to write all his poetries related to this life. He spent 40 years as an unknown. He was not known. He was writing, but he was not known. But he became known for his famous works. Some of his famous works made him successful and made him familiar or popular. And these works include Fire and Ice, Birches, Nothing Gold Can Say, and Home Burial. His poem, The Road Not Taken, is often read at graduation ceremonies across United States. सो बच्चों, ये पोएम जो है, आज की जो पोएम हम पढ़ रहे हैं, इंग्लिश में आपकी पोएम है. हियर द एक्सप्लेनेशन विल गो साइड बाय साइड इन बोथ द लैंग्वेजेस, दैट इज इन इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी. फायर एंड आइस रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट की लिखी हुई वो कविता है जिसमें एक थीम को उन्होंने लेके एक्सप्लेन किया है जो आज के दौर में भी बहुत ज़्यादा रिलेवेंट है, और ये थीम है इंसानियत पे, ह्यूमैनिटी पे, जिसको इन्होंने दो चीज़ों को लेके, दो नॉन लिविंग चीज़ों को लेके इन्होंने ह्यूमन नेचर के साथ, ह्यूमन इमोशंस के साथ उसको कनेक्ट किया है, और इसमें उन्होंने कुछ एक बहुत ही बढ़िया मैसेज देने की कोशिश की है इस पोएम के थ्रू, फायर एंड आइस, जो हम आगे एक्सप्लेनेशन के दौरान सुनेंगे. अभी हम आते हैं रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट की जीवनी के बारे में सुनते हैं और पढ़ते हैं. रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट एक अमेरिकन कवि थे, अमेरिकन पोएट थे, जो सैन फ्रांसिस्को में जिनका जन्म हुआ था, और इनकी जो लिखने की जो शैली है, जो भाषा है, वो बहुत ऐसी भाषा है जो कि रिलेट करती है एक कॉमन मैन, जो आम इंसान है, उसकी ज़िंदगी से जो फैमिलियर चीज़ें हैं उनसे लेके इन्होंने उस चीज़ से इंस्पायर्ड होके उस तरह की लैंग्वेज को उन्होंने यूज़ किया है अपने सारी राइटिंग्स में. और ये 4 पुलित्ज़र प्राइज़ेस के विजेता रह चुके हैं और अपनी ज़िंदगी में इन्होंने 40 ऑनररी डिग्रीज़ को भी इन्होंने लिया है, इन्हें मिली है। अपनी ज़िंदगी में बहुत सारे इन्होंने परेशानियों को झेला है, बहुत मुश्किलों का सामना किया है। देयर वर मैनी चैलेंजेस, और ये अपनी सारी परेशानियों में ये कामयाब भी नहीं हुए, बहुत इसमें वो नाकाम भी रहे। बहुत सारे इन्होंने ऐसे कार्य किए जिन शुरू किया, जिसको जो अटेम्प्ट्स थे इनके वो बहुत बार नाकाम रहे। फिर भी इन चैलेंजेस को उन्होंने लिया, उसके साथ वो बढ़े, उसके साथ उन्होंने ग्रो किया। रूरल लाइफ में, ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में इन्होंने रहना शुरू किया, वहाँ पे उन्होंने अपनी कविताओं को लिखना शुरू किया। अपने जीवन के 40 साल उन्होंने बिना पॉपुलैरिटी के गुजारे। ऑल्दो वो लिखते थे लेकिन बिना पॉपुलैरिटी के थे, लेकिन उनको जो पॉपुलैरिटी मिली, उनको जो नाम मिला, उनको जो कीर्ति हासिल हुई, वो मिली उनको उनकी कुछ काम के द्वारा, जो कि था फायर एंड आइस, बर्चेस, नथिंग गोल्ड कैन से, एंड होम बरियल। और एक कविता जो उनकी है, द रोड नॉट टेकन, बहुत मशहूर कविता, बहुत फेमस कविता, पॉपुलर पोएम है, और ये पोएम बहुत अच्छा एक इंस्पिरेशन का सोर्स है। वो हमेशा ग्रेजुएशन सेरेमनीज़ में यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में ये पढ़ी जाती हैं। So students, this was the explanation about the poet. Now next we move on to the reading part. Here in this poem, with the reading of the poem, I will also explain one of the poetic literary element, that is the rhyming scheme, sorry. And in rhyming scheme, I have written the scheme that I will explain you after the reading part is done. Fire and ice. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. In explanation part, that is in the first paragraph, in the first stanza of the poem, as once again I am reading it. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. In this stanza, the poet is not sure that when is the world going to end, but here he is saying that the world is going to end definitely one day. And there are two groups of people divided. One group is saying that the world will end in fire, and another is saying that in ice the world is going to get end. So what does these two lines means here? According to people's opinion, what poet has understood is that people they want to say that someday, as the reason for existing of life is the relevant temperature or circumstances. But people, they want to say that as the temperature will increase someday, and it will make impossible for everyone to live, and at that day when the temperature is at its height, if the sun gets very hot one day, and it will reach to a stage at the verge of bursting, and this will be the reason for the rapid destruction of the world. That is, it would end with the fire everywhere. Similarly, some school of thought is saying, some people they are saying that the world is going to end in ice. That is the opposite of the previous thinking. That is, some feel that it will grow very much cold, and the temperature will go on decreasing. There will be ice everywhere, and due to this low temperature also does not permit life to grow or to be continuous. So some people believe that someday the temperature will go down and it will become colder and colder. There will be ice everywhere on the earth, and life in any form would not be able to sustain at such temperatures. So this is the meaning of these two lines, what poet has understood. But in his opinion, what poet is thinking, what after hearing these two, after knowing about the end of the world by people, after knowing their opinion, what poet is saying that from what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Means poet is going with the first chance, or the very first opinion, or the first group of people where people think that the world is going to end when the temperature is going to rise. And here poet wants to say that from what I have tasted of desire. What does this mean? Tasted of desire means what? Want something. Here poet wants to connect this word fire. He wants to connect the physical element with the emotional element of human. Here desire, what I have tasted of desire, that means poet is also saying that he has experienced very lots of things on this in this world, and he wants to tell people, he wants to inform people that no, desires are also going to be the reason behind the world's end, and which is very much related to fire. Desire here means wanting something, like burning, want something very badly. So here human nature is there, the human nature is such that it wants to get his desires fulfilled in any form. And due to this fulfillment of desire, or due to making an attempt to fulfill one's desire, human goes up to any extent, and which causes lots of destruction, which causes lots of war, and which leads to all sorts of what you say, all sorts of destructive things goes on. So here according to poet, the fire here is relevant with the emotion of a human being, that is desire. Okay. It is very much it is a strong symbolic poem, and his symbols are used, fire is used as the emotion of desire. Okay. Then he, on the other hand, he says that he is with the people who are saying that world is going to end with fire. So as I'm giving here one example, as you can see, there are many dictators who went, many people, many rulers, they went, and for achievement of their desire, for achievement of their eagerness, of their dreams, to fulfill their dreams, they set all kinds of unwanted, they took all kinds of unwanted steps only to fulfill their desires, and which led into destruction of livestock, destruction of people, destruction of peace. So here fire means destruction of all humanity, all life, because of fulfilling, because of the conditions brought by the people to fulfill their desire. Desire, apart from desire, fire here means the temperament of human being, and again it is the nature of human being that is going to end everything, every person. The fiery desires, it is capable of burning human beings, and it can bring destructions too. So in this first paragraph, first stanza, poet wants to say that he wants to tell all the human race that the world is going to definitely end one day. He doesn't know when. He is not sure about the day when, or when is the earth going, world going to end, But definitely is going to end because of the human misdeeds, or the bad emotions of human beings. Basically, he is talking about the fiery desires, about the hatred, and about the temperament of human beings, which will lead to which is going to which will lead the earth towards destruction, towards war. You can see lot of people die when there is war, when there is a desire to conquer a land, when there is a desire to become superpower, when there is a desire to rule on entire world. So to fulfill these desires, people they use every sort of elements to fulfill the dreams. So here poet is giving a very big message that desires are going to kill everyone and that will bring the world to end one day. तो बच्चों यहाँ पे पहले पैराग्राफ में पहला स्टेंजा में पोएट जो है, कवि जो है, वो दो ग्रुप के लोगों की बात करता है। यहाँ पे बताता है एक ग्रुप के लोग कहते हैं कि ये दुनिया आग से ख़त्म होगी, एक ग्रुप कहता है कि ये दुनिया बर्फ़ से ख़त्म होगी। डेफिनेटली यहाँ आग और बर्फ़ जो है वो फिज़िकल टर्म में किसी चीज़ के फॉर्म में यूज़ हुआ है, लेकिन जो कवि है वो आग को आग की तरह नहीं देख के वो इंसानी पहलुओं पे उसको कनेक्ट करता है, इंसानों के नेचर पे उसको कनेक्ट करता है, मनुष्य के इमोशंस, मनुष्य के व्यक्तिगत तरीके, बिहेवियर पे उसको कनेक्ट करता है। कवि कहता है कि ज़रूरी नहीं है, लोग कहते हैं कि फायर से ख़त्म होगा, इसका मतलब यहाँ पे कि लोगों का ये मानना है कि किसी दिन सूरज बहुत तेज़ चमकेगा, बहुत ज़्यादा उसमें तेज होगा और उसका तेज़ी से जो इस धरती का टेम्परेचर है वो तापमान जो है वो एक अचानक से बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ जाएगा और जिसकी वजह से हर जगह आग लग जाएगी और जो है दुनिया ख़त्म हो जाएगी। कुछ लोग कहते हैं कि नहीं, ये टेम्परेचर जो है बहुत ज़्यादा कम हो जाएगा और हर जगह जो है बर्फ़ गिरेगी, हर जगह बर्फ़ हो जाएगी, पूरी दुनिया ठंडी हो जाएगी और इस ठंडे से भी जो है बर्फ़ की वजह से भी किसी भी प्रकार का जीवन जो है वो ज़िंदा नहीं रह सकता। तो हो सकता है कि वर्ल्ड जो है वो किससे ख़त्म हो, ये धरती या दुनिया जो है ये बर्फ़ या ठंडक की वजह से ख़त्म हो जाए। लेकिन यहाँ पे कवि का मानना यह है कि हाँ ज़रूर वो पहले सोच वाले लोगों के साथ जाना चाहते हैं कि हाँ ज़रूर ये आग से ही ख़त्म होगी धरती। क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो लोग रहते हैं उनके अंदर इतनी सारी अभिलाषाएं हैं, इतनी सारी लालच भरा हुआ है किसी चीज़ के लिए कि उनकी ये लालच, उनके ये डिज़ायर्स, उनकी ये मंशाएं जो हैं उनको कहीं का नहीं छोड़ेंगी और उसको हासिल करने के लिए बहुत तरह के रास्ते अपनाएंगे लोग और ये रास्ते जो हैं कभी भी अच्छी जगह नहीं लेके जाएंगे, लड़ने लड़ाने और डिस्ट्रक्शन की तरफ लेके जाएंगे, जिसकी वजह से पूरी दुनिया एक दिन लड़ने के जंग में ख़त्म होगी, लड़ाई में ख़त्म होगी और हर तरफ जो है आग ही आग होगी। तो ये जो डिज़ायर की जो आग है, जो एक अभिलाषाओं की आग है, जो सपनों की आग है, जो इंसान को कहीं नहीं ले जाएगा और ये जो है कहाँ लेके जाएगा, दुनिया को पतन की ओर लेके चला जाएगा और एक दिन ये धरती जो है इनके अपने मनुष्य के अपने आग से, जो बाहर की आग है, एक दूसरे के प्रति जलन की जो आग है, एक दूसरे के प्रति जो कंपटीशन की आग है, एक दूसरे को के ऊपर राज करने की जो आग है, वो आग एक दिन इस धरती को ख़त्म कर देगी। So I hope students you must have understood the explanation of first stanza. Now we will move on to next stanza, that is, but if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Here again the poet is saying that if again he has not changed his mind, but he is thinking on another lines or on another opinion of the people, that he is going with those people also who are saying that earth is going to end in ice. So he is saying that again if this world has to perish or it has to die twice, again it will die due to hate. Here hate is compared with the ice. Here ice is what? Ice is cold. Ice is cold. Cold here means the cold nature of human being, that is being aloof, remaining aloof, having hatred, having numb emotions with each other. This will lead to the internal coldness, numbness of a person will again it will detach all human race with each other or any kind of life on earth. it is going to separate everyone, and this icy hatred will be capable of ruining human beings, and it will act as a slow poison, and slowly and steadily it will end entire world. So here the poet is saying that if fire is sufficient to end this world, that is, if the fiery desires are sufficient to end the world, so similarly the cold hatred nature of human being is also it is sufficient to end this world. So here, students, it is a very beautiful poem where the poet is giving one very beautiful message, that again these two things, or these two nature of human being, will land him nowhere but towards destruction as well as towards the end of the world. तो बच्चों यहाँ पे दूसरे स्टैंजा में पोएट ये कह रहा है कि अगर धरती को दोबारा ख़त्म होना है, दोबारा धरती मरने की कगार पर है, या दोबारा धरती मरेगी, तो वो ज़रूर बर्फ़ से मरेगी, ठंडक से मरेगी। किस चीज़ की ठंडक से? इंसान के अंदर जो पनप रहे नफ़रत का जो एक बीज है, एक दूसरे के प्रति नफ़रत है, एक दूसरे के लिए, या अपने अंदर न झांक के दूसरों के प्रति नफ़रत को लेके, या दूसरों के प्रति जो एक चिढ़ के प्रति, इस तरह के नेचर की वजह से क्या होगा कि इंसान एक दूसरे से जो है वो दूरी बनाता जाएगा, और यहाँ पर वो एक स्लो पॉइजन की तरह काम करेगा, और इसकी वजह से भी जो है वो बहुत जल्दी ये धरती जो है ख़त्म होने के कगार पर आएगी। और इससे जो है, जैसे एक बर्फ़ होता है, ठंडक होती है, तो ठंडक में चीज़ें नम हो जाती हैं, सुन्न हो जाती हैं, उसी तरह से मनुष्य का भी जो एक नफ़रत उसके अंदर जो पल रही है, उसके अंदर जो कोल्डनेस है, एक दूसरे के लिए कोई भी इमोशन नहीं है, ये सारी चीज़ें जो हैं उसको किस तरफ ले जा रहा है? उसको पतन की तरफ लेके जाएगा, और इसी वजह से ये धरती एक दिन ख़त्म हो जाएगी। और ये धरती को ख़त्म करने के लिए जिस तरह से आग सफिशिएंट है, उसी तरह से आइस या बर्फ़ भी सफिशिएंट है उस धरती को ख़त्म करने के लिए। तो यहाँ पे आग और बर्फ़ को पोएट ने डिज़ायर और हेट्रेड में कंपेयर किया है, जो ह्यूमन के सबसे वर्स्ट नेचर है, मनुष्य का सबसे बेकार नेचर है, और इसी वजह से यही एक रीज़न हो सकता है जिससे कि ये धरती जो है वो एक दिन ख़त्म हो जाएगी और डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएगी, सारी चीज़ें डैमेज हो जाएंगी। अभी आप भी देख रहे हैं बच्चों, आजकल बहुत सारी चीज़ें आपको अपने इर्द गिर्द नज़र आ रही हैं। एक बहुत बड़ा उदाहरण है जो केरला में एक हाथी की डेथ हुई, जिसको बहुत बुरी तरह से मानवता न दिखाते हुए लोगों ने एक जानवर को ख़त्म किया। वो एक बहुत गंदा इमोशन है, एक बहुत गंदा नेचर है इंसान का, और इससे आप देखिए किसी का फ़ायदा नहीं हुआ, एक बेज़ुबान जानवर जो है इसमें मारा गया। इसी तरह से अपने डिज़ायर्स को, अपने एम्बिशंस को पूरा करने के लिए बहुत चाहे अनचाहे रास्तों को इंसान यूज़ करता है, और ये हो सकता है क्या, एक दिन पूरी धरती को ये अपने चपेट में ले लेगा, और इसकी आग में सारे लोग जो हैं वो जल के ख़त्म हो जाएंगे। तो बच्चों, ये आज का जो फायर एंड आइज़ है, एक बहुत ब्यूटीफुल मैसेज के साथ है, जिसको रॉबर्ट फ्रॉस्ट ने हर दौर के लोगों के लिए एक्सप्लेन किया है, अपने हिसाब से उन्होंने बताया है। Now moving on to the next thing, that is summary. As you might have understood, I am simply going to read the summary and you will understand it. I will explain it in Hindi as well. The poem Fire and Ice is a symbolic poem, and in the poem the poet expresses the profound idea that everything that exists in the world will come to an end sooner or later, as he is not very clear when. So here in this paragraph, in this poem, what the poem wants to say, that it is a symbolic poem, and in this poem the poet, he wants to explain his idea, his feeling that the world is going to end, it will come to an end, whether some, or maybe it may be sooner, maybe later, but it is definitely going to come to an end. But when, the things are not clear in both the stanzas, but it is clear that the world is going to come to an end. In the poem, the poet talks about two different beliefs regarding the end of the world, either by ice or fire. Two beliefs are there, as I have explained earlier. Two groups of people are there. Those who believe that world is going to end in fire because of fire, or world is going to end by ice. So here two groups are there. Two beliefs are discussed in this poem. So one big group of people say that the world will come to an end by reducing into fireball, and another group of people are of opinion that the world will end by ice. So these two groups are, although they are talking about the physical ways of destruction of earth, that is by the rise in temperature or by decrease in temperature, but here the poet has taken these two physical elements and he has compared it with the human emotions. The poet wants to aware the humanity that everything is going to have an end one day due to misdeeds of human beings. Here he is again awareing the people. He wants to make them aware that humanity is not going to end by these physical things. Definitely it is going to end, but the maximum part will be played by, the role will be played by the deeds of human beings. Misdeed will lead the human beings to the end of the world. The poet is of opinion that we always let our emotions rule us, and if these emotions are not controlled, then they will surely destroy everything around us. He thinks fire and ice both are just as competent in bringing the world to a ruinous end. As fire is symbolic to desires and ice is compared with hatred, that is sufficient to cause internal destructions. So here poet is saying that although a world is going to end due to this physical things like fire and ice, but still he is of opinion that every individual is guarded by emotion, and these emotions they are working and he is a human being is allowing these emotions to rule him. So he gives his opinion. He suggests human being to have a control on the emotions of desires as well as hatred, because these two emotions, desires, it will ruin the people, ruin human being, and all around the world. And similarly, the hatred is the device which is going to kill human being from inside it. It will act as a very slow poison and it will damage the or destroy entire world very slowly. So here both the elements are sufficient enough to bring an end to the human or mankind or to the entire world. Okay. So here he has used fire as a symbol of desire and ice is compared with the hatred. And these two emotions are very much sufficient to cause internal as well as external destructions to life or humankind. तो यहाँ पे बच्चों फायर एंड आइस में जो पोएट है वो इस आइडिया के साथ यहाँ पे इन्होंने कई दो बातें रखी हैं कि दुनिया जो है वो ख़त्म तो होगी एक दिन, लेकिन कब होगी नहीं पता, पर होगी, चाहे जल्दी हो चाहे बाद में हो, अभी हो चाहे कल हो, लेकिन होना है। और इसमें दो लोगों का आइडिया उन्होंने डिस्कस किया है, दो ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल का आइडिया, दो ग्रुप्स का आइडिया इन्होंने डिस्कस किया है। एक ग्रुप का मानना ये है कि जो धरती है वो आइस से ख़त्म होगी, और एक का मानना है कि आग से ख़त्म होगी, जो प्रीवियस एक्सप्लेनेशन में आपको पता है कि हमने पढ़ा है। लेकिन पोएट का ये कहना, पोएट हमें आगाह करना चाहता है, हमें कुछ सजेशंस देना चाहता है कि अगर हमने अपनी इन इच्छाओं को, जो कि इच्छाएं कभी कभी बहुत भयावह रूप ले लेती हैं, अगर हमने अपने इमोशंस को, अपनी इच्छाओं को अपने ऊपर हावी होने दिया, तो एक दिन ये इच्छाएं जो है हमें उन रास्तों पर लेके जाएंगी जिससे कि पूरी ह्यूमैनिटी, पूरी मानव जाति, पूरी धरती ख़त्म हो सकती है। उसी तरह से अगर जो हम अपने अंदर पल रहे एक दूसरे के प्रति नफरत, ईर्ष्या, जलन को अगर हम पनपने देंगे, उसको कंट्रोल नहीं करेंगे, तो वो ज़रूर एक दिन जो है धीरे 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 हमें और पूरी धरती को वो ख़त्म करने में सक्षम होगी। तो पोएट कहता है कि दोनों चीज़ें, चाहे वो आग हो इच्छाओं के फॉर्म में, या फिर इच्छाओं की आग हो, या फिर वो नफ़रत की ठंडी सी एक, जिसको कहते हैं कि इमोशंस है जो धीरे धीरे खोखलापन कर देती है अंदर, धीरे धीरे सुन्न कर देती है इंसान को, वो चीज़ें जो है दोनों सक्षम हैं इस धरती को, इस दुनिया को ख़त्म करने के लिए. सो इट इज़ अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल पोएम and I hope you have understood the things. Now coming on to the next part of the poem, that is explanation of the rhyming scheme as well as other literary devices. Rhyming scheme here is ABA, ABC and BCB. As you all have seen in the part that I read, when I was reading the poem there, ABC and BCB is given. What is rhyme scheme? Here it is a 9 lines poem and the full scheme is this, which is very much clear that the ending words of each line they are rhyming with the first line or either second line or third line. So here in this scheme the first line of the poem, the first line, in the first line the last word rhymes with the last word of third line. Similarly in the second line, that is B, the last word rhymes with the second fifth line last word. So I will show you the scheme and you will be able to understand the scheme. So let me show you the scheme first. So here you can see that some say the world will end in fire. So here last word is fire. So here you can see fire. Then in third line, from where I have tasted of desire. So here fire, desire, they are rhyming with each other. Similarly the second line, some say in ice. I hold with those who favor the fire. So this is not rhyming. So here what is rhyming then? Here again it is rhyming with the A type of word. So it will be A. Again coming on to the fifth line, but if it had to perish twice. So here twice is rhyming with ice. So here it is given as B. Now coming on to the next line, I think I know enough of hate. Hate is neither rhyming with fire nor with ice. So here a third category comes, that is C. To say that for destruction ice. So here B, ice twice ice, it is rhyming. It is also great. Now here great is rhyming with hate. So here it is C. And next part we will see that and would suffice. Suffice rhymes with again twice or ice. So you can see that in all the lines the last word is rhyming with either alternately rhyming or it has a different rhyming word. So the scheme here is A B A B C and again A B C and B C B. So I hope you must have understood the rhyme scheme. Coming on to the next literary device, that is alliteration. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound at the start of two or more closely placed words. So it is the repetition of the same sound of consonant. So the sound F, that is in favor of, in favor fire, and W in world will. So in favor fire, as you can see, F sound of F is repeated and here world will sound of W is repeated. So here this device is alliteration. Coming on to assonance. Here what is the thing? Here the prominence of any vowel sound is there. Any of the vowel is prominently used and the sound is throughout the line. So this type of this figure of speech is known as assonance. Here in this poem, I hold with those who favor fire. So O, the long sound of O, here O sound is prominent. So it is assonance. Then coming on to next device, that is enjambment. Enjambment is defined as a thought or clause that does not come to an end at a line break. Rather it moves over to next line. As you have seen throughout the poem, there is no comma from very first line till end. You will find that there is no comma nor full stop, no exclamatory mark. The entire line is going on as such. So here there is no break in line. So this type of device used is known as enjambment. Example, from what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. So here after desire neither there is comma nor full stop, no exclamation, nothing is there. The line is going on as such without any end. So this type of device used is known as enjambment. Coming on to the next rhyming scheme, that is personification. What is personification? Any human quality is given to any inobjective subject, inanimate subject, object. And in this poem, fire and ice both are non-living things, that is inanimate, and they are capable of destruction. So destruction is what? It is activity of a living organism or any living object. So here poet has personified or used them as a person. So here the poet personifies fire and ice by giving them mind power to destroy anything. Coming on to next device, that is anaphora. It is the repetition of a word or expression at the start of two or more consecutive lines. Here you can say some say is repeated at the start of line 1 and 2. You can say it is very much relevant in the poem. It is clear in the poem. That is, some say in ice and some say that the world will end in some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. So some say, as you can say, these two words are repeated twice in first as well as in second line. Then coming on to the next thing, that is imagery. Imagery is when a writer attempts to describe something so that it appeals to our sense of smell. When any of the writers, if he uses this imagery, this literary tool, imagery, he describes something that is very much relevant, that connects with our sense of smell, sight, taste, touch, or hearing. And again it is a comparison, that is it is used, literary devices like simile or metaphor are used, that is comparison is used or description is used to appeal to our sense organ. So here what it is saying, any five sense organs. For example, some say the world will end in fire, to say that for destruction ice is also great. So here what it is said that fire and ice both are used, and they are used in such a way that we connect it with our sense organs, that is touch, emotions, as well as what you say, sight. So all these things are the literary devices of the poem. Now coming on to some extra questions or some question formats that can come from this portion. That is extract based questions will come, like some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. So here the question is given in form of extract. One part of or one stanza of the poem is taken, and here the questions are placed. The questions are put in front of you. Every question has the nearly same answer. What is poet's opinion of world in these lines? You can answer his opinion is that either the world will end in fire or in ice, but poet is want to go with the people who favor that world and will end in fire. Then what is poet's opinion about the world? That poet's opinion is that the world is definitely going to end one day, sooner or later it has an end. What is the contradictory opinion of public? Some people they are saying world will end in fire. Some say that world is going to end in ice. So these are the two contradictory opinion of public. How are ice and fire similar to each other, though they have contradictory traits? Because both have the destructive property described in this poem. That's why they are contradictory, but they are used in the same. They are used for the same particular activity, similar activity. Okay. So these are some of the extract based questions. Now short type of questions, 2 marks questions will come in this form. For Frost, what do fire and ice stand for? For Frost, fire stands for fury desires, as well as ice stands for hatred, which lies inside the human being, and it is going, and these two are sufficient enough to bring the world to an end. Then how has Frost brought out the contrasting ideas in the poem? He has brought the contrasting ideas by using these elements like fire and ice and comparing it with the emotions of human, comparing ice with the fiery desires of human being, and fire with the fiery desires of human being, and ice, comparing ice with the hatred part of human being. So students, these are some of the format, some of the questions that are being asked, and you have to practice questions in this one. These are some of the extract based or as well as short question answer type things. So I hope you must have understood the entire gist theme of the poem, and again we will meet in next lecture. Till then, stay tuned and read, work hard with positive spirit, and again connect with me in next lecture. Do subscribe my channel, the Zahra's Classes. Thank you.